a hack bases an entire show around a quack, it may seem cartoonish, but it needs to be taken seriously, particularly by the communications director of the show's target, Senator Obama. In our #1 story in the countdown, the Obama campaign's Robert Gibbs delivered unto Sean Hannity a twofer, deflating the argument about Obama's so-called associations and skewering Hannity's supposed investigation all at once. As we mentioned in yesterday's Worst Persons, the supposed expert positing Obama at the center of a plot to, I don't know, sink the Titanic. It wasn't really clear. Anyway, the guy was a venerable lunatic and anti-Semite, presented as an author and journalist. And he claimed that Senator Obama was basically a secret Muslim with a secret agenda to overthrow the government, with a political career engineered by William Ayers. Mr. Hannity never raised any doubts. So last night when Mr. Gibbs appeared on Mr. Hannity's post-debate show, Hannity asked him about Obama and William Ayers. Mr. Gibbs offered the usual reply that Ayers' deplorable acts were committed when Obama was 8 years old, that the two men had served together on a charitable board funded by a conservative Republican, that guilt by association was unreasonable. And when that did not satisfy Mr. Hannity, Mr. Gibbs became the role model for all those with brains who actually choose to appear on the network of venality. He took over the show as the interrogator with the goods.
Are you anti-Semitic?
Not at all.
Okay. On your show on Sunday, you're the show that's named after you, right? The centerpiece of that show was a guy named Andy Martin.
I know you're reading your talking points.
No,
you brought it.
I don't have talking points.
When I interviewed, hang on, I'm going to answer your question. When I interviewed Malik Shabazz, when I interviewed Al Sharpton, when I interviewed all these controversial figures, you see on Fox, we actually interview people of all points of view, whether we agree or disagree. So the statement you're about to read,
Andy Martin called the judge a crooked, slimy Jew who has a history of lying and thieving common to members of his race. Martin went on to write that he understood better why the Holocaust took place, given that Jew survivors are operating as a wolf pack.
I find those comments despicable. But wait a minute.
Put him on your show.
We put Malik Shabazz on the show. I put Khalid Muhammad on my show.
Why am I not to believe that you're anti-Semitic? Why am I not to believe that everybody that works for the network is anti-Semitic, calls Jews slimy, and understands the Holocaust better because of the way he views Jews?
I'm explaining to you.
I can't believe you would give a platform.
So you don't want me to interview anybody that I agree with? I can interview only people you disagree with.
Put your whole show around him, Sean.
Barack Obama.
I'm led to believe only that you agree with each and everything that Andy Martin said.
You know those guys who say you can photograph the exact moment the soul leaves the body? Well, there, what? Oh, yeah, that assumed Hannity has one. Anyway, all of this inspired the great John Cleese of Monty Python's Flying Circus, and to my continuing astonishment, our audience, to offer up this poem about Hannity, which he has somehow entrusted me to read. Lights, please. An ode to Sean Hannity. Aping urbanity, oozing with vanity, plump as a manatee, faking humanity. Journalistic calamity, intellectual inanity, Fox noise insanity. You're a profanity. Hannity. Let's turn now to Rachel Maddow. Evening, Rachel. I just read something written for us by John Cleese. What the heck, huh?
And I want that lighting effect, too, really bad. There's all sorts of stuff we could use that for.
Yeah, that, by the way, that was not intentional. All right, back to Gibbs and Hannity. Apart from the sheer joy of the thing, was it a milestone? Was it meaningless? What was it?
It was a milestone for me because I was very entertained. I was very entertained for that moment on that segment watching that program. In terms of the importance, though, I think it probably was important as an example. This thing went viral so fast. Within minutes of it airing on television last night, it was sent to me. It was everywhere today. So many people have seen it, so many more people than I'm sure saw it live, that I think it will become sort of a textbook, sort of an example of how to win in situations like this.
All right, well, then analyze the methodology that Mr. Gibbs showed there. I mean, there's not a lot of truth at Fox, but there is a lot of skill. Gibbs beat that system. How did he do it?
He did it by showing instead of telling. The way you would have told that is by saying, well, the analogy here is that you had a bad guy on your show, and you having a bad guy on your show is something that could make me accuse you of all sorts of exasperating things you don't believe in, and that's just like what you've done to Barack Obama. He didn't explain it, he just did it. He just showed Hannity how exasperating he could become by making those accusations based on what what Hannity's guest had done. And the more Hannity responded, the more exasperated and frustrated and unfair he thought it all was, the more he proved Robert Gibbs' point. It was poetry. It was perfectly done.
So distill what can be pulled out of that for the benefit of future victims and/or guests on that program. It's what you have to be able to use the structure of the whatever the Hannity attack is back against him. That's the thing you've got to go in with.
Whenever you have the opportunity, show and don't tell. Demonstrate your point rather than explaining your point. I think that's one. But also, pay attention to the way the argument has been framed before. Pay attention to the way that Hannity has talked about the issue ahead of time. He will telegraph his punches. So be prepared, understand the argument, and doing that sort of preparation in advance can tell you how you can turn it back on itself. Usually it's not a matter of having the perfect bit of research. It's just a matter of knowing what's coming and having a plan and sticking to it. One procedural thing as well is to remember that you have a microphone on. And even though it might feel in person like he's yelling over you and drowning out your voice and you can't be heard, you have a microphone on. And if you are speaking calmly and clearly, people in the TV machine will hear you. That's
right. In fact, you can grab the microphone and move it closer to your mouth and do that, and then you sound really loud. Yeah. Briefly, the other fixed news. Apparently, all remaining media appearances for Governor Palin will be either on with Hannity or with Greta Van Susteren. They will not even risk her on O'Reilly. Is this a death knell of sorts for her?
Well, I'm still holding out hope, Keith, that she is going to respond to your challenge, that she will come on one of our shows. I thought it was very generous. No editing. She can be on for as long as she wants. I think that she would like us if she got to know us. So I'm hoping that she will change her mind. I think it's a sign of weakness. I think it's insulting of the McCain campaign to protect her this way. And I hope that she will change her mind.
Well, I mean, she might like you. I mean, she has that, you have that likability score and the whole rest of that stuff. And she's not going to like me, but I can get her that lighting. And that would give that would then be that sort of messianic light over her head, which she clearly thinks is there anyway. So
that's quite a tease.
We'll throw that into the bargain. Rachel Maddow, great thanks as always. Back to work with you in the final 30 seconds of preparation for your show.
Indeed.
In the interim, that's countdown for this, the 1,988th day since the declaration of mission accomplished in Iraq. I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck.